I'll start on the wind up. Now he's down to the pins. Sweat pouring off his shoulders. Drives that one through. It's the other thing, you've got to make sure that wool's packed well, otherwise when it comes to drive...
Zane Rogers. Guys, please, so we know.
The wool can be in the way and you've got to really try to screw it and twist it and bang it on through. There you go. This is what I'm saying, that wool gets in the way. Get that out of the way, Zez. Right, one more to go.
There you go. Test number 6. Yep.
Looks like the wool pressure is going pretty strongly down there. We'd just like to now welcome our first heat of the Novice Shearing, sponsored by Cydectin, the Drench Company, and down on stand number 6, Truls Brew from Norway. On 5, Lizzie Cole from England. Shay Chase. On stand number 4 from Masterton, Tamarunui's Tiana Phillips. On 3, Zane Rogers from Gisborne up on 2. And from Pukikawa, James Noble Campbell. Each competitor to shear one sheep, is it? One sheep to the best of their ability.
Heat 2 of the Novice Shearing, could they please be ready? Justin Hutchins, Jack Butterick, Joshua Devine, Lewis Twig, Sean Tahoe, and Henry Subtle. Could you 6 please be ready after this heat?
Okay, we've got a green light. We can't go without that green light up the back, but it's on here today. Big welcome to these novice shearers. Everybody happy? Timekeepers right, judges, competitors, go.
Testing.
Into the pen they go. These young fellows, though, and ladies, we have a great mixture of gender up here today, and it's good to see these willing participants. The sheep have been well crushed out, and their sheep are supplied by Timatai, so really in good shearing order. A bit of a belly wool has been taken off, so it just takes a little bit of adjusting to going straight onto that first leg. But the big welcome to Kerry Irvine from down in the fire regions of the top of the South Island. Kerry, how are you enjoying your first commentary team event here at the Golden Shears?
Yeah, thanks, John. It's great to be here. It's an event that I've always seen on the live stream, but never been to as a shearer. But as a commentator, I never thought I'd be here commentating Golden Shears. But all the same, here I am, and it's a fantastic event, isn't it?
It certainly is. And for heat number 2, we need Justin Hutchins, Jack Butterick, and Joshua Devane to the announcer's table, please. Make sure you're here ready to go. We need to roll this like a smooth running machine. And make sure you present yourself for your heat, otherwise we will go without you. So just one sheep to shear, difficult, very difficult to shear one sheep, because you really just can't get into the rhythm. The concentration levels are that high up there under the lights. And then you've got that wild animal, which is proving to be a little bit elusive here on stand number 2. You just need to keep thinking. Very important to keep breathing while you're up there, because that keeps the brain, a little bit of food for the brain, and just keep breathing and thinking. Where do I put my next foot? Where's my next blow going?
Joshua Devane, could you report to the announcer's desk? Joshua Devane.
It's not all about pace down there, Kerry. It's about keeping the quality. That 13-tooth comb to be nice and flat across the skin, and to not leave any bruises or second cut the wool fibre. And we're doing pretty well down on stand number 5, our young lady, Lizzie Coles, all the way from England. She's showing us a good set of heels at the moment.
Well, that's right, John. It's as we all know, for this novice, they got one sheep, so it's a one sheep wonder, really, and it's a big thing for these novice shearers to get up here and have a go. got the challenge of shearing their sheep, but then they've also got the challenge of being in the big crowd, and for some of them it's the first time that they would have ever shorn at an event. And the Golden Shears, John, I couldn't think of a better place to start.
Oh no, it's pretty mind-boggling up there, but I'd just like to remind our competitors, you are your own timekeepers. At the completion of your sheep number, please push the red button by the machine dropper. And these wild animals are just showing how ready they are to get out for a nice nibble on the park lawn outside the stadium, as they just want to run around the shop a little bit. But keep thinking, people, not all about the pace, it's all about removing that wool fibre with one blow of that comb and cutter. And Tiana Phillips from Tamanui, she's been very constantly keeping the sheep nice and quiet. Lizzie Cole coming to do her work down there, a couple of blows to go, and she's going to be letting that sheep down the portal. Likewise is our Norwegian on stand number 6. Maybe is going to hit the red button first. Turns his plant off, get the red button, hit the red button, that's the story, stop the clock. Well done, 3 of them already done, and the rest of them are on the last side.
Last call for Joshua Devine. Joshua, is he here?
All right, if I could just jump in there. So we've had a couple of ways down here while we're getting this shearing underway, and Jeremy Goodyear, now he's got the quickest time so far out of all the competitors before now of 11 minutes. He has fooled those bins and hoist that bale down. 11 minutes. Now we're looking for a 160 kg bale, and your local boy Jeremy brought a 158. Okay, yes, a round of applause. 158 I said. I know you're a wee bit stunned, but that is within 2k. So that last little handful we put in worked well. Your other local man, the Masterton man, Kinsey Leith, okay, had a bit of a false start, got tangled up, kept his cool, kept breathing, kept the oxygen up. He brought in a 159.5, ladies and gentlemen. A 159.5. Can you get any closer than that? Understanding the points, lots is involved in and around the bale weight. Okay, over to you, John.
Yeah, working away. Still a couple of our competitors to complete the job, and of course, even though you've finished, it's very sportsmanlike if you stay up on the stage and let your fellow competitor complete the task. It's lonely up there if you're the last one shearing, I can tell you. Been there, done that many moons ago. Out the last leg now. Shay Chase getting ready. You notice the judge is just hanging on to the stop cord there just in case the shearer requires some assistance. Hit the button, turn your buttons off. Make sure you stop your clock, competitors. Very, very important. Okay, could those competitors, round one, give them a round of applause. Big effort from our novice shearers. Could they move off to the right and on with their new ones from the left?
He too can move up on the board, please. Justin, Jack, Joshua, Lewis, and Sean and Henry. Up you go, guys. Heat 3, could they please be ready? Zach Mitchell, Taylor Locke, Brodie Hamilton, Henry Gay, Jock Judge Hun, and Reef Baylor, please. Those 6 shearers for heat number 3.
Thanks, Nookie. Okay, just looking for Ross Thompson. Ross Thompson, can you just make yourself known over here at this desk just here, please, so we can confirm our last heat with you. Otherwise, we're only a couple of minutes away from getting going. Once again, a major accolade.
Welcome back, viewers, to the 2019 Golden Shears here in the mighty Wairarapa. The day started a bit cool here, but we're now heading for a high of probably 23. Hey, we're in the War Memorial Stadium here, and I've just watched the single men's wool pressing, and it's our pleasure to welcome into the studio here this morning Jeremy Goodyear. Jeremy's a 14-time champ of this event. And Jeremy, great to have you here. Welcome. Kia ora.
Kia ora koro. It's good to be back.
Oh, it's good to
Every
be
year
back.
it's good to be back.
Well, we just had a little bit of a talk off air, and 14 titles. Amazing.
Yep.
And is there any chance of slowing up, or you're still
I might
pumping?
be slowing up, but I'm a bit more wiser these days. Yeah, my fitness has gone a bit down, but I've got to use more knowledge and
Use the roro, not the nono.
work on my technique more.
Yeah. Well, I remember years ago when I first watched you pressing, and I'd never seen anybody, and I've talked to you, but I thought you were the sexiest guy that ever pressed wool. Can you remember me saying something like that?
Should be on Vogue or something.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I had all the-
Well, it's still, and I watched your heats. Fabulous. You pressed that bale in just on 11 minutes. Your bale weight was 158. The judges are asking 160, so you're 2 kilos off. That's a mighty effort.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I was playing around with putting more wool in and thinking, geez, have I got 140 or 190 in the bale? So I just keep putting a little bit of arm load in, make sure the corners are nice and even.
Yeah.
And when I cranked it down, I thought it was overweight, so I'm pretty happy with that, 158.
So watching, how would a young wool presser, just watching, how would they know to get enough wool to be within that 160 weight range?
I've been working with a couple of young guys, and we've been working on technique of picking up wool, and 20 kilos arm loads, you do 4 each side, that's 160. And
Yes.
I was working on that today. The wool's very deceiving, it's very heavy, so yeah, hopefully the young guys come. I'm thinking, they've got to work hard to get that 20 kilos, because there's quite a bit of weight in this wool.
Well, it's just being able to assess how much you lift up in each arm, because if you're over, you get severely penalised, don't you?
More under.
More under?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 kilos, I was 2 kilos off, could be 6 points maybe, so it could matter in the long run.
Jeremy, the wool floor around the wool press was immaculate.
That's how my bedroom is. Sometimes.
It was immaculate. There was nothing, and I went to talk to the judges, and he shouldn't have shared this with me, but he said, we found bugger all false in your heat there.
I try to keep it as 0 as possible. 0 is a good, no points taken off.
Yes.
2, 3 maybe, that's pretty good too, so. It's going to be interesting, Koro.
Oh, well, we'll talk about the guy that's up there at the moment, but health and safety is a big factor in this wool working around a wool press, isn't there?
Yep, no, it is. It's all about safety these days. Like winding the press up, you don't want to shake the press left and right. It's got to be
because the
even.
lid might fall off.
Exactly, yeah. So when you're cranking the bar down, you got to make sure you hear that click. Because if it doesn't click and you put the bar for another crank,
Pyong, gone.
yeah, it's all safety and noise. You can't hit the floor. There's a lot of little things to it.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching the young ones that all the little techniques and the points that take off.
Well, I'm not quite sure if we filmed the wool pressing that was going on at the moment, but we certainly will do over the times. But the younger brother's out there at the moment, and I tell you what, he's put on a bit of weight from last year.
Is that James? Vinny? Oh, Vinny's he's pressing full time now.
Oh, has he left the dairy farm?
So I think I'm in trouble. He's doing very well, eh?
Oh, he looks a bit cocky too, doesn't he? He's
He's
really
training
fired
hard.
up. He's
He
fired
is.
up.
It's going to be a good battle if I can make it with him again.
We look forward to that.
Yeah, me or James. James is looking good.
Yeah, I saw James earlier on as
So-
well. But hey, anything you want to add to folks out there in the? You want to thank anybody?
I'd just like to do a big shout out to all my friends in Australia. Pauline Bronkhurst, you might be watching this. You're one of my favourite farmers in Queensland. Hope you get a bit of rain. All my whānau all over the world. I'm going to try and make it number 15. So we'll see what happens.
And you do a little bit of what do you call it when you load things onto the internet around about working in the wool shed? I see the Gujaman.
Good,
Gujaman.
Yeah.
You do that, don't you?
Yeah. It's much of a hobby. I like to take videos of us working and, you know, putting it on YouTube. And, you know, I believe in creating history. Like, I've been doing it for 15 years now, and there's a lot of my uncles and that have passed on.
Yes.
And it's quite important, I reckon. You know, doing videos like that and just sharing it to the world and see what we do. And
Well, the Māori word for that is whakamaumahara, in remembrance.
Yep.
And look, we work in the hardest job, sometimes not the nicest conditions,
Yeah,
and but harden up and make the most of it in
you
there.
got to take the good with the bad, so like any job really.
Yep.
So you just got to keep pushing forward. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go, folks. We'd like to think we can bring this man back into the studio if he goes on to the next stage. I'm sure he'll go on to the next stage. Fingers crossed. So thank you very much, Toby, and back to you.
Thank you, Koro.
To help get our national clip done, push your red button, make sure you turn your plant off. So it's good to see we're right up here with a high standard once again. These young shearers are setting. Those yellow figures that were just up on the board were the figures from the previous heat. And when the blue figure comes up on the screen as is now, you'll see that's the competitor has stopped the clock, and that's the maximum amount of points he's got on the board. Time and penalty strokes for second cuts. So hit the button, turn your plant off, hit the button. Have a think about what you just achieved shearing in your first Golden Shears under the bright lights. Back in the days, the judges used to be scary. They used to have white jackets on. Oh, they used to flap around, and the shearers that just had no... they had a lot of fear for the judges. They're very approachable, these judges these days, and they'll tell you a yarn or two or where you went wrong. They're only there to record what mistakes you make and to also assist you if you get into big trouble. So down under the shoulder comes Joshua Devane. Really making the job, taking the sheep. The sheep's just a little bit niggly at the moment, so he gives it a gentle rock. Trying to keep his toes pointed together so it'll help control the sheep with the inside of his knees. And if all else fails, you just got to do what he did and pop the head through to take the pressure off the sheep, and makes it easier to get that last leg off. So about 3 or 4 shots to go. Do you think that these young shearers will grace the open stage in a few years' time, Kerry?
Yeah, well, they're all starting somewhere, and young Joshua there, he's a little bit slower on time, but I'll tell you, that is a very, very well shorn sheep, John.
No,
there we go. Well done, Josh.
What we call inky pinky.
Inky pinky does it.
Heat 3 of the Novice Shearing: Zach Mitchell, Taylor Locke, Brodie Hamilton, Henry Gay, Jock Dodson and Reef Baker. If you'd like to go up onto the stands now, please. Heat 4, can you please be ready and assemble down to the left of the announcer's desk? Joshua White, Luca Southcombe, Owen Pengelly, Hamish McKenzie, Robin Krause and Luke Jameson. So those 6 competitors assemble down to the left of the announcer's desk.
How's it going down there, Gerald?
Yeah, we're going well here. John, Vinny on the front press, knowing that Jeremy's was the quickest with 11 minutes. He is hitting the 8-minute mark now with probably not a lot of time to go. He's just got to pin that baby up or staple it up, then the pins are out. The bale will be sitting there, the floor is clean, and it's going to be a quick time. He is really smoking it, he's on fire. Ash Boyce right here, well, he's on the wind down. And this wool is very, very dense, because for them to try to get 160 kgs, I am very surprised to work so hard to get that last lot of wool in the bale and then still hit in around the 160 kg mark. And they're going to have to be there because there's plenty that have been there before this event. So they need to be very accurate with their weights. Right, so we've got your local boy, Vinny. Look how tidy this is, folks. Looking around the corners, he's got to tidy up those corners. This is the points for presentation. And here we go. The pins are coming out. The door will be whacked open. He's going to use the pin to tidy the corners up. And he does so. Top box off for Ash. Winds that down. This is a health and safety thing here. You've got to keep your hands on that handle. You let that baby go and she starts free falling. She can be all bad or turn pear-shaped, as I'd say it. Here's Vinny. He's got the run on. I'm on the way back to the stopwatch, ladies and gentlemen. 9.5 minutes. Your man, Vinny Goodger. He's not wrapped up yet, but get ready to clap. Vinny is done at 9 minutes 45.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp, all right.
Been there, done that, got the shirt.
Okay, we've got the green light. Shearers on the board. Everybody happy? Timekeepers right, judges. Competitors, go. Righto, now we're off in heat number 3. Reef Baker down there on stand number 6. Jock Dogston on number 5, gets his first sheep on, or his only sheep onto the board. Henry Gay on number 4. Brodie Hamilton, Taylor Locke and Zach Mitchell. That's how they all line up. Some big, strong young shearers here. Remember, shearers, if you want to check how you've gone so far, out the front in the foyer, there's a big board, whiteboard out there with all the information of the heats that have gone so far. That's shearers and wool handlers. Go out into the foyer and check the big whiteboard for your results so far today. So here we go. Heat number 2 underway. A little bit of the nerves are gone out of the system now, Kerry, with heat number 3 underway, sorry. A little bit of the nerves are gone out of the system now for these competitors. They've watched their fellow guys go. They've seen how the sheep are shearing. Very important to think if you've got the right comb and cutter on.
Yeah, that's right, John. I think probably the first heat would be the hardest in this novice. Everyone's keen to get going. They're a little bit nervous. It's a hard heat, that first one. These novice shearers, they sort of a little curious to see what the sheep shear like. Are they going to kick it? Are they a little bit niggly? But all these novice shearers doing really well. I'm very impressed, and their quality job, John, is very, very good. So we see these novice shearers working their way around the shoulder and dropping down into the long blow they go.
So there goes, you're just looking up to the big board above the shearer stand. Lizzie Cole at the top at the moment, but hey, there's still another 5 heats to go. A big entry here today, and it looks like the way the novice wool handling and the junior wool handling went this morning, we're in for a cracker number of competitors here at the 59th Golden Shears. 59 years, by golly. Well, I've been coming to a few, but not quite that many. But good to see that the art of shearing hasn't died over those 59 years. It's come a long way from that inaugural event. Over the shoulder on the last side comes Jack Mitchell, local boy down to Nui. And then we've got a Weber man on stand number 2 coming across the last side, Taylor Locke. Good strong arms on him, should have not too much trouble, but completing the task pretty quickly down there. Reef Baker, by golly, a good shear from him, and he looks like he's done the job pretty right. No damage to the sheep, that's the main thing. Very important that we keep the animal health issues upright, so these shearers have got to look after these animals. They were worth in excess of $250, these animals, so they've really got to make sure that we do the job right by them.
Yeah, well, these are very, very good shearing sheep, John. These novice shearers, once again, as I said, they're doing a very, very good job of these sheep, and they should be very proud of themselves. There we go, young Jack Locke. and Zach Mitchell.
All right, we're just over here. We've got a confirmed weight, judges. And this is press 1 over here, Vinny Goodge's bail. So Masterton, we're looking for 160 kgs in weight. Vinny Goodger, your local man, has done 160 kgs in weight. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with me. Look at that, 160 kgs on the dot. Also a very quick time of 9:42. So he has really drawn a line in the sand. Right, Ash Boyce. Now
Heat
look.
4 for the Novice Shearing, Joshua White, Lucas Southcombe, Owen Pengelly, Hamish McKenzie, Robin Krause and Luke Jamieson. If you'd like to hop up on the board. And Heat 5, could they please be ready? Maddie Hull, Oliver Hoist, Jack Hurst, Jack Dutoit, Cole Claydon and Matt Austin. Could you 6 shearers please be ready for the next heat? Thank you.
All right, we're down here. Now, Ash Boyce has still got a very quick time. He was behind Vinny, yes, for sure, and 1 point every 20 seconds. But on the cards of everyone who's been so far, he still is the 4th fastest. Now, he did a 150.5, so a little bit light there, Ash, but a credible sportsman and an incredible worker. Ash Boyce, 150.5.
We're way behind. We just got to keep rolling.
So you'll notice the blue and the yellow figures up there on the big board. So the pen points are not up there for the blue figures. The yellow figures include the pen points, and we have a 3 outside. Now that is pretty amazing for a novice shearer. I must congratulate the man, his young jock, who's had a good shear there. So it can be done, even at this young age, to remove that wool fibre with the least amount of penalty points, and 3 is a very good shot. This class is for shearers that have not recorded a shed tally of over 50 in an 8-hour day, so they're just real beginners, and it is a start. Never used to have a novice competition many moons ago. It was straight into the junior when you were shearing up to 200, so you had a big variation of shearers.
If I just interrupt there for a minute, John. Looking for William Killon. If you could make your way up to this table here, please, and make yourself known. And Lucas Broughton. Willen Killon, Lucas Broughton. To this table, just here, please. Thank you. Over to you, John.
Okay, well, looks like we've got all those figures up there, just waiting for our light to change. Sheep are great sheep, and they'll be supplied by Bruce Tomlin from Timate.
Okay, I'll just come in here. There's an Audition Stevens van out the back. GLQ 960. It has to be moved ASAP right now. So Audition Stevens van, whoever owns it, please remove it from where it is. Thank you.
Green light. Shearers, you ready? Okay. Timekeepers right. Judges. Competitors, go. Moving on now with heat number 4, Luke Jamieson down on number 6. On number 5, we have Robin Krause. Hamish McKenzie on 4, Owen Pengelly on stand number 3. And up there on stand number 2, we have Luke Southcombe, all the way from Hamilton, and Joshua White, even further north from Auckland, by golly. Come from around the country, these novice shearers. That is awesome. All looking lovely with their nice pink bands on. Are they supporting cancer, or they know they can't get in the door without them? Kerry, another battle going here.
Yeah, heat number 4 of this Novice Shearing, proudly sponsored by Cydectin. Very, very good sponsors they are. So as we've seen, the undermine done for these novice shearers. And up the neck they go. Young Luca on 2, he leads the way at the moment. Up the neck he goes.
All right, I'll just butt in there for 1 wee second. We've got another heat of this single men's pressing. In that case, the judges are ready. Pressers, on your marks, get set, go. Right, I'll just do a quick intro so you know who they are. We've got Ross Thompson on press 1 here, and from England, okay? So he's been coming out here shearing sheep in the senior grade for the last 4 years. He's had a wee go here in the pressing other years, so great to have him back to have another burst. And then this here press 2, Jono Hicks. So Jono is an incredible competitor. He's a senior PE teacher, and he turns up here every year and he leaves it on the board, if you know what I mean. Okay, he gives it everything he's got. So those are who are the 2 here. We'll go back to the board, John.
Yeah, just looking there, looks like Jono's bulked up a little bit since he first turned up on the scene. He got a bit older. We're all bulk up a little bit when we get older. That's enough said. We'll move on back to the shearing. The end of the long blow here comes Luca from Hamilton. Very, very quietly moving his sheep with every blow. If he just shuffles his feet along. Down on stand number 6, we're turning on to the last side for Luke Jamieson. All the way from Auckland as well, where these Jaffers come from, my golly. It's great to have him down here in Masterton. By the way he's getting the wool off that sheep, he doesn't come from Queen Street, and that's for sure. He comes across that last shoulder. Working away, Robin Krause on stand number 5, turning off the long blow onto the money side of the sheep. Hamish McKenzie into the long blow. He looks like he might stick with the game. He's got that look about him. I'm up here on the front stand. Mind your handpiece, young man. There's Joshua White from Auckland. Has stopped his clock for the time points of 9.4. So that's about 3 and a bit minutes. He managed to get the wool off that pretty sharply. Remembering that the time points are calculated at 20 seconds per point. So every minute you get 3 points. Out the last side now comes Owen Pengelly on stand number 3. Just making sure he's getting it all. He's using his eyes. He's taking his eyes back to follow the handpiece. And when you get onto the job and more experienced competitors, they can take the handpiece back and put it in without even changing the look. They might just have the preferential vision. Just picks up where they need to put the handpiece in, but as a junior shearer and novice shearer, you must take your eyes back to where you're going to enter that handpiece so you can keep it nice and flat on the skin. Just check, make sure you push your button, guys, very important. His clock stopped on the blue figure. That's what we like to see. 8 heats in this event, Kerry, and we're heat number 4 on the board at the moment.
Yeah, it's halfway through, so it's these junior shearers really are shearing well. It's great to see them up here, having a go at the probably the best shearing event in the world. I would say the Golden Shears. The young Hamish McKenzie, down and out the flank he goes. Finishing touches for him. And young Robin from Germany. Finishing touches for her, and she'll look for time points. There we go. Well done, Robin. And that leaves young Hamish McKenzie. Young fella from Hastings. Finishing touches here for him. And down and out the flank he goes.
He's all very concerned that he was going to lose that control of that sheep on that last leg, but he just moved back ever so slightly, and it just presents the wool for the handpiece. You just cannot shear a sheep upright. That is impossible. There he goes, about to turn his plant off, and how they going down there, Gerald?
Yeah, the motors are still running down here, John. Jono Hicks has left the top box nice and light at this stage. The cap well and truly off the top. And here we go. The man from England goes in for a big haul. He's got the big JCB out, the big silage grab. Loads up the bottom box. He's thinking, this Jono knows what he's doing. I think I'm going to have to rattle my dags here and see if I can catch him for time points. That 1 point every 20 seconds as he starts to do a wee bit of knitting. Knits it all together, Ross Thompson. Here we go, folks. Oh, she's a big one. It's just about a booyah moment, that one. He loaded that box up. He's only done 2 big scoops. And he's got her loaded now. Now he's down to the little pieces. But Jono, with his very unique style of these very short little wee sharp steps that he does, gives him good balance, and he's quick. He gets the broom straightened out. He's not full-time in sheds any way, shape or form. He's a senior PE teacher, as I mentioned earlier, but he comes along to support this show every year, and he is a serious competitor, I can tell you that. He will leave it out here as he starts doing the housework. He's underneath the carpet now. She's the big spring clean. Look at him go. Look at the footwork on this boy. Bit early in the day, but I just...
Well, welcome back, folks, from the World Wide Web and live streaming from the 2019 Golden Shears. The mighty Wairarapa has turned it on. The weather's beautiful. Here in the studio this morning, as we get on, the time is just after 20 past 10, and we are underway with the Novice Shearing heats. And it's a great privilege to welcome into the studio Robert Larsen. Robert is a representative of Cydectin, and Cydectin, of course, we'll ask him what Cydectin is, but welcome into the studio, and thank you very much for your sponsorship. So Cydectin, obviously an animal
health product for sheep. It's an oral drench for sheep with great barber's pole control.
Barber's pole. Cydectin has been around forever because you've got a cattle drench too,
yes,
don't you?
We've got a Cydectin pour-on cattle drench, which once again is a market-leading product out there.
No withholding period.
No withholding. Brilliant. You know your stuff, Guru. You should have my job. We could swap places.
Hey, Robert, why did you guys get involved in actually sponsoring the Golden Shears novice section?
Mainly because we deal with farmers, and the wool needs to come off the sheep. And it's a great way for us to return something back to the farmers and to the farming community and the wider shearing. And for the first time I came last year, and these guys are athletes and women. It's amazing hard work.
It's very underrated, the sport, isn't it? It's very underrated. It is world class.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a young girl just shearing there from Germany, and then I was sitting next to a girl who's shore, and she comes from Taihape. You know, it's worldwide.
It's worldwide. Well, the Golden Shears looked inside the magic mirror and a little while ago, and they've made a real emphasis on the lower grades. There's Waipawa, there's Smedley, and there's other training farms here, and they're brought along. I think Smedley might have 10 or 12 young shearers here, pressmen as well. So it's a really great thing for the farmers, and that's where you guys need to tick into, isn't it?
Yes.
Seeing your name up there goes back to the farms.
It does. And they know that we are supporting them the whole 9 yards, really. You know, from, you know, supporting the industry, really.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about. We're not a generic company or anything like that. We do a lot of R&D, so we're all about giving back to the farmers.
Barber's pole. What did you say?
Yeah, barber's pole, Homunculus contortus. It's a
Okay, for us that don't know what's that.
It's a blood-sucking worm that
Inside the gut.
inside the gut, which the sheep ingest, and they can kill lambs and probably hoggets. So it's a nasty little worm.
Okay. Well, that's what we're all about. And this animal welfare is very important. We've got this people in saying we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be doing that with animals, but people don't realise the research and development going on to keep those animals healthy, and that's where you guys work in.
Because we're a multinational company that spends almost $500 million on R&D every year on not only sheep but with farming dog products to keep your farm dog working longer. So we've got a whole gambit of products that we produce.
Well, that's good. Thank you, Robert Larson, and from the mighty Cydectin, and thank you very much for sponsoring the Novice, because that's a very important class to sponsor.
Yeah. Without the those up-and-coming shearers, you have no lead-in time. You have no really good shearers.
Yeah. We call that, in a Māori term, the kohanga reo. It's a learning, it's a nurturing grounds, and Golden Shears is great for doing that, and they recognise it. We thank you very much for your guys' time and sponsorship, and we look forward to a long association.
We intend to be associated for a long time.
Anything else before we go back to the stadium?
No, that's all. I'm just quite keen to get back to watch the shearing, actually.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks out there. The novice shearing heats are underway. We've got our major sponsor here, and we appreciate and thank them very much. Back to you, Toby.
Completed the task. Matt Austin down the far end. Button being pushed by Jack Hurst on 3. Matty Hull, the local lad, just coming over that last shoulder. So right out that last leg, cleans off the sock. Out over the hock, that's the story. Hits the button, turns the plant off. Well done, Matt Austin. And 6 or 7 blows to go for Matty Hull here on the front.
Yeah, just
They put in a lot of blows, these novices, but they're probably only using about a third of the teeth on the comb there as he comes out the last leg, trying to not make a second cut. That's what he's trying to achieve. And by golly, it's working for him as he comes out the last leg. You'll see those yellow figures up there for Jack. It's got his final score. The blue figures, of course, is when the clock's been stopped. And we have a 3 on the board for Matty Hull. That is pretty amazing. Well done, you guys. We have a 6 down the far end as well, so okay.
Eileen Link, you're up in this heat. Sorry, we've changed it around, but is Eileen Link ready? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Much appreciated. So heat 6, Connor McIntyre, Kiari Manson, Eileen Link, Renee Biggs, and Adam Gordon, if you'd like to hop up. Heat 7, Jono Hicks, Lucky Garrett, Jerome Papworth, Gus Berger, and Ailey Watson. Watson, could you assemble to the left? That's Heat 7 following this heat here.
We do appreciate them stepping forward there just to fill in the spot. We've got one of those shearers for the next heat. He's working away on the press down there, Gerald, and he's ripping out the pins as I speak.
Yeah, she's all go down here. What's the running time? Oh, it's 13 minutes, 20 seconds as Jono Hicks is doing the last and finishing touches.
Gerald, I'll just come in here. Could I have the organisers of the student challenge? The organisers of the student challenge to come to the announcer's desk, please. Thanks, Gerald.
Thank you. So, yeah, Jono's right down to the last touches now. What are we at? We're going to be about the 14-minute mark. Still tap dancing his way around the work area. He's got to get this baby locked up. There he goes. Give him a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Jono Hicks. It is a huge amount of great competitors in this precinct. He also is another member who has made the big finale here at the Golden Shears a few years back. So once again, there's no free lunches at the Golden Shears. You've got to bring
Gerald, I'll just come in here. Could we have the junior shearing competitors report in now, please? So the junior shearing competitors, if you'd like to report in now, thanks.
Thanks, Nookie. Right, so over to here, Ross Thompson, a little bit of a false start. He had a twist in the rope. Didn't cost him a lot of time, though. Got a fan base just out the corner here. They were giving him heaps before, but they're thinking he's run out of petrol. I think it's now that he needs the hand, folks.
We've got the green light.
Is there anyone?
We've got the green light. Okay. Everybody happy? Shearer on the board, no shearer on stand 6. Timekeepers right, judges, competitors, go. Righto, we're back to you, Gerald.
Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, so he's got his fan club right here. He's thinking, oh, the old shearing board's looking good at the moment. The wool's in the way. He'll have a massive respect for presses from this day forward. He's got to get that wool out of the way so he can get this pin in. There we go. And look at a massive bead of sweat right on the tip of the nose. So it's not beer and Skittles up here, folks, I can tell you that. He lines up the next one. Jono's off. He says, I've done my pressing, I've got a shear now. I told you he's a fierce competitor and he's living up to it once again this year at the Golden Shears. Enter, he'll have a go at it and he'll give it everything he's got. But at the moment, Ross Thompson says, right, one last pin to go. You're hanging in there, Ross. Imagine doing all this day with a 4-stand going, full wool, a bale with every 40 fleeces and 4 good shearers going, doing a ton of run. That's 100 sheep each every 2 hours.
Gerald, I'll just come in. Jono Hicks, Lucky Garrett, Jerome Papworth, Gus Berger and Alice Watson. Could you assemble to the left of the announcer's desk, please? Start the next heat. Thanks.
Righto, looks like up here on the board we have Connor McIntyre up on the front stand, working away around the back of the head. And Keheri Mason there from Pew Pew. Look down into that first off shoulder. The most difficult part of the sheep are trying to achieve now is you need to use all your extremities to control that sheep in that position as you drop down to the offside. That first off shoulder, not enough fingers on one hand, you use the other one and use the elbow, the wrist, whatever you can, just to secure that sheep hard up against your knees as you drop down under the long blow. Down on stand number 3, we have our German girl, Eileen Lake. Look at that, stepped up here, working away now in a strange land, in a strange place, and she's doing it marvellously, working across that first off shoulder and down under the long blow she goes. Renee Biggs from Mangamahu up in the Whanganui. Into the long blow now for her. Down on stand number 6. It's another of the Gordon far now. By golly, they seem to be still popping them out in numbers.
Sorry guys, I'll just come in. The organisers of that student challenge, please can you come to the announcer's desk? We have to have a meeting with you. The organisers of the student challenge, please come to the announcer's desk.
So not a lot of difference between these competitors, just the regular of the sheep. You'll notice the judge will turn the plant on and off for these young competitors, because the last thing you want is a handpiece flying around the air. They have an anti-kick system in that handpiece or in the ferrule that allows them to disengage if they get hooked up in anything, but it's not nice if we have an injury. So out the last leg they come. Great control shown by these young competitors. I'm really astounded by the amount of effort they're putting in here, Kerry, and they're doing it really easy.
Yeah, they're shearing well. There's very, very good control by these novice shearers. These ewes are big, strong ewes, and they're not easy to handle. And these novice shearers are doing very, very well. So we see down there on 5, young Adam. Well done, mate. Good job. And his time is taken. And down the last side goes, stands 1 to 4. A young girl from Germany. Doing well. Foreign country, foreign sheep. And she's doing herself very, very proud. And finishing touches for her. And she'll take her time point as well.
How many of you are there? 4 of you or something?
Down and out the flank that goes the rest of these shearers. Finishing touches for them.
He's the only one that's come.
And there's heat number 6. And there we go. Finishing touches for young Connor. It's a very, very well shorn sheep. Well done, mate. Good job. Finishing touches for these shearers, John. Once again, this heat, they should be very, very proud of their efforts.
Well, you did right. You just keep an eye on that board up there. That tells you the story, doesn't it? 5s, 2s, 5s, 4s. By golly. Great shear. Even a 2 outside. That's a magnificent effort. Another good finish there by Mason on stand number 2. All the way from the King Country. And just Renee Biggs, the young lady from Mangamahu, coming across that last leg. They had a little bit of trouble controlling his sheep, but she's done it fine now. She's about to hit the button. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see a good shear from these young competitors. So if they move off to the right, we can have shearers on from the left.
Okay, novice shearing heat number 7. Jono Hicks, Lucky Garrett, Jerome Papworth, Gus Berger and Alice Watson. If you'd like to head up, that'd be great. Heat 8, our final heat of our novice shearing. Michael Buick, Finn Redshaw, Jesse McIntyre, Lily Alabaster and Rika Swan. So could those 5 competitors please be assembled to the left of the announcer's desk?
All right, down at the pressing here, we've just weighed Jono Hicks's bail and he's not happy. 143.5 when our target weight is 160. So he knows the consequences of that and it's not ideal. But anyway, he'll be shearing on the board in a wee minute or 2. Now, Ross Thompson has done a 153, ladies and gentlemen. The Englishman, who's been coming over here for 4 years. It took him 20 minutes to do this bail. Give him a round of applause. He left it up here too, ladies and gentlemen. 153 kgs. Right, that leaves us one more heat left in the senior men or the individual men. Tyrone Oliver will be on 1, Lucas Broughton on 2, and then folks, we'll be moving straight on to the individual women's pressing, okay? So one more heat of the men, straight on to the individual women's pressing. Right. Well, we've had a really good morning down here. We've had some sensational times, okay, with Vinny pulling out a real quick time. And a lot of very close weights. In fact, one right on the button, of course.
Green light. Thank you, Gerald. Okay, competitors happy enough. Timekeepers right, judges, competitors, go. We're off and going. We've got Jono Hicks on the front stand this time round. He's in that marathon for the shearers. Hey, they've got things, oh, crikey, last time I saw a sheep, it had its belly on. But anyway, Lucky Garrett's on stand number 2 from Ekatahuna, Jerome Papworth. On stand number 3. Gus Berger on 4 and Alice Watson on number 5.
The junior Woolhandling semi-finalists. In order of qualification, Sunny Tifare, Lucas Broughton, Tiana Phillips, Jacinta Kennedy Stevens, Brooke Birch, Heaven Little, Chrome Ellers, and Shaila Karaitiana. Congratulations to you 8 competitors.
Good to see them working away. They know the pressure's come on now, so here they go. Jono Hicks, he's straight off that press. Oh, he's a little bit miffed with himself. He got a light bail, but it's another ball game. It's another part of the equation up here, and he's up the neck and around the back of the head. Just a young competitor. We're missing those shearers for heat number 8 to turn up down to the stairs, please. Are we all there? Make sure you're there. Michael Buick, Flynn Redshaw, Jesse McIntyre, Lily Alabaster, and Rika Swan. Make sure they're down there to get ready for heat number 8. Another great lineup here. Look at that, Alice Watson. She's right up with the pace down there, Kerry, and looks to a good, straight, strong back for a young lady.
Yeah, she's a good little shearer, Alice Watson. I sort of know her from down Nelson Blenheim way. She's going shearing along really well, but taking nothing, of course, away from these other competitors. And as we said, young Jono Hicks, we've seen him Woolhandling, we've seen him pressing, and now he's up here shearing. It's great to see him entering all these events, and it's a real credit to him. And as we see on too, these sheep really are a challenge for these novice shearers, and because they are very, very beautiful shearing ewes. So big, strong hill country ewes, and they really are a challenge to hang on to.
Kerry, I'll just come in there, sorry. Michael Buick, Finn Redshaw, Jesse McIntyre, Lily Alabaster, Rika Swan, could you assemble to the left of the stage, please? Just so we know you're here, it is about a momentum. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys organising.
Okay, I'll just move in there. Just want to get this heat going, please. Okay, on press 1 here, we've got Lucas Broughton from Wanganui, but lives in Gisborne now. And on press 2 here, Tyrone Oliver. He's been pressing full-time for 2 years for Braddock Shearing. Right, in that case, they're ready to go. It's our last and final heat, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Heat 1 for the woman will be Araha Edmonds and Araha, or 2 Araha Edmonds. We've got at the moment. Araha, you're going to be up. But in between times, judges are ready, presses are ready, on your marks, you're set, go. Right, once again, we really want to enforce the continued sponsorship of our major sponsors here. And once again, long serving here is Woolpacks New Zealand and Farmlands. So thank you very much to you guys. This is a tremendous event to be involved in, and there's not a lot of shows that have it now, and it's a great thing. It's a big part of the shearing shed. We've got to get the wool baled up. That's all there is to it. So as they get into their work, John, I'll fire you back to the board.
Yeah, right over back here. Looks like the pace still on there from young Alice down the far end. A little bit of hometown just across the water in Blenheim in the dry country. Well, it's dry enough in Masterton at times, but right out the last leg, by golly, that's a good shear. I do happen to have a handbag handed in. Thank you to our person who is kind and honest to present a handbag to the announcers table. So if you're missing a handbag, we have one at the announcers table. So back here with the shearing, young Papworth coming over the shoulder on the last side. A compact little shearer. He's keen as mustard, just a youngster. Right out the last leg is Lucky Garrett. Did a fine job there, had a bit of a wriggle halfway through a sheep. And just as these shearers now start to work off that last leg, I believe Mavis Mullins has got our sponsor over there. Mavis, would you like to have a couple of words with our sponsor as our competitors finish the job?
Yes, thank you very much for that. So I've got with me at the moment Robert Larson, who is the Cydectin sponsor of this grade. So great to have you here, Robert. What do you reckon?
Oh, I think it's amazing. I've just, to to watch these athletes at work, it's really cool, and to be sponsoring the entry level for the Golden Shears is just amazing. We're really pleased to be here.
We're really pleased to have you here, Robert, and we look forward to you following these young people as they traverse all the way through to those finals.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm going to be here all day, and next year I'll be able to come back and watch them in the intermediate grade, which will be even better.
We'll make sure it's a junior first, but yes, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, forgot about that, junior.
Thank you. Back to you, John.
I just hope he's going to rush off back to Taranaki and drench my lambs for me. I'm using his product.
Heat 8, Michael Buick, Finn Redshaw, Jesse McIntyre, Lily Alabaster, Rika Swan and Lincoln Eastwood, if you'd like to hop on stage now, please.
So yes, Heat 8, the final one for this event. They want to make that final. We do have a semi-final for them this afternoon, and is up for $200 to receive for the winner. And also we have the horseshoe trophy.
Could Ronnie King please come to the announcer's desk? Ronnie King.
You know, for chief referee, that's the first time I've heard his name called. Absolutely marvellous. He must be running a good ship. Still waiting for that green light as we get our 8 contestants onto the board. After this event, we're moving straight on with the junior shearing. So those competitors, make sure if you're in Heat 1, be Johnny on the spot for us, please.
Ronnie King, you are required at the announcer's desk ASAP, please.
Just waiting for an extra name. We've got, okay, looks like we're ready to go. Not quite. A wee problem down there.
What do you call farming here? So they might be...
We've got a powerhouse young swan down there on number 5. It could be what we got the signet. We're just waiting on the all clear from the pen number 6. Chief referee will give me the thumbs up in a minute. We had no sheep. Kevin will give me a bit of a wink and a nudge. One sheep can't be hard to find in a flock of 3,323. 3,333.
She's won 2000 and it says on her page. Athena won in 2016. Yeah, and she's won.
So very good thanks to our pen staff this morning, and especially our resident wool handlers down here on the front. They do a marvellous job, and of course the tipper uppers down the bottom as well. That's where the real work begins, because tipping up a shorn sheep is not the easiest of the tasks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the camaraderie there, just a good shake of the hand. Good luck, young fellow, he says.
Yeah. Her nickname's Coco. Yeah. Okay.
Referee on the board, Mr. Neil Sidwell, just checking up to make sure that everything's under control.
Where is she?
How are we going in the pressing down there, Gerald?
Yeah, they're still toiling away here, John. Getting all these bales sorted and pressed and the likes, and still trying to guess that 160 as they go to work as this youngster Tyrone Oliver. I wanted to take him home to the Southland rugby team last year.
Ooh.
He's out of school now, and he's been 2 years in this year doing the pressing.
Gerald would come in, Gerald. Thanks.
Thank you. Timekeepers right, judges, competitors, go. Righto, this is the 8th and final heat in the Cydectin Novice Shearing. Michael Buick on the front stand. Flynn Redshaw on stand number 2. On 3, Jessie McIntyre. Lily Alabaster, another one of our female contestants on 4. Rika Swan from up in the Wairarapa. Oh, that's not a good start, young man. Lincoln Eastwood down on number 6. Oh, what a great effort, Gerald. Let's just see how your guys are going down there in the wind-up.
Lucas.
These sheep have got the bellies off. It's just a wee bit of assistance for these young competitors.
Lucas Broughton, could you report to the announcer's desk, please? Lucas Broughton. Thanks, John.
Righto, looks like that action. A little bit of safety there required for our young competitor, Rika Swan. He's just stands that sheep up. He made sure he turned his handpiece off. They are wild animals, but they are sitting there very nicely for him, so he's not upset them so far. Big strong shear up here on the front stand, likewise as too. Oh, he's helping the Woolhandler there. He shifts the top knot out. You don't see that when you get up to the open grades, that the shearer presents the top knot out for the Woolhandler. But it's good to see that these young people have got some manners anyway, Kerry, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's good to see these young novice shearers doing very, very well. As even young Rika Swan down there, I dare say that you would be probably 20 kilos heavier than what he is. But he's doing well, the young fella. It's full credit to him. It's great to see him up there having a go, and he's not scared of going toe to toe with that you. And it's great to see. Young Michael Buick down here on 1, up the neck he goes, and shearing along pretty well too. Looks like he's from a reasonably strong shearing family, and works his way around the shoulder, and he'll drop down into the long blow. Young Rika Swan down there. Once again, he's going toe to toe with that you.
Kerry, I'll just come in here, sorry. Lucas Broughton. Lucas Broughton, if anybody knows where he is, could he report? Final call. So please, Lucas, you need to report in, thanks. Okay, Kerry, over to you.
And back to the board we go. So the finishes the long blow there.
Yeah.
On stands 2 and 3. Couple blows left and they'll swing for home. One sheep to do. This is Novice, proudly sponsored by Cydectin, and great sponsors they are too, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have them on board, and without sponsors we don't have a show, so we do thank our sponsors very, very much, and beautiful shearing sheep they are. Young Jesse on 3, over the shoulder he goes. He'll take the trimming on the top side of the leg and under that final shoulder. Down and out the flank he'll go. He'll be looking for his time points too. Shearing along well, aren't they, John?
Yeah, they certainly are. I just, you're sort of going to take you to task a little bit when you think that sheep is only 20 kgs heavier than that young shearer down there. I think the farmer might go home and have to drench his sheep if that sheep's only 20 kgs heavier than him. He's only about 35 wringing wet. No, I'll give him a bit. He might have 45. He's a good, strong young competitor, and by golly, my hat goes off to him. He's certainly done a good job. And he's just battling the elements a bit at the moment as the rest of them come across the last side. Nice shear there from Lily on stand number 4. Alabaster name tells me that she should know something about the job. All the way from Taihape. That'll be pretty sure that you're not going to get a wild kicking sheep and throw that handpiece up into that lovely lock of hair she's got on her head. Down the last side she comes, doing a job. The sheep's waiting for her. Sheep down the porthole now for Jessie McIntyre. He's switched his clock off. Well, Judge, how did I do? Lily pushes the sheep down the porthole. She stopped the clock as well. Good shear from her. The rest of them are pretty close together. Under the shoulder and down to the flank with the head raised forward here. There's Redshaw on.
And that's how you got to do it.
Finn Redshaw having a good shear, these young guys. A Buick up here in the front stand. Hey, all the way from out there in the Pongaroa, no doubt. Look at him go. Got a good number up on his board at the moment. The lower the number, the better the job. There goes Ken Sherry. He's going to end up down that board hole shortly. Well done, Finn Redshaw. Awesome stuff. Out the last leg on the front stand. Out the last leg on stand number 6.
The green is when it's all loaded. Only that heat.
Right there is Michael Swan as well.
That heat.
Riker Swan all the way for Wairarapa.
Do this separately. So what
Beautiful sheep.
everything's flowing.
Good cheer from the young man. Hey, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's Heat 8 of the Cydectin sponsored event, over and done with. Next up, we will have the junior shearing. Heat 1.
Heat 1 of the junior shearing. We're just going to have a little bit of load upstairs, but Joe Cummings, Luke Daesh, Caleb Nelson, Sheridan Cooper, Harlem Chase, and Trent Robin. If you guys could be ready when we call you up, that would be much appreciated. I'll have Heat 2 very shortly.
All right, down here at the pressing, running time. This is the last and final heat at the individual men's, 13:38. The young fella, full of adrenaline, pumped up, young, no fear. Said, are you in the triathlon, Tyrone? He said, no, I'm going for the big shot here. So he's just lying it all on the line here as he tries to pull the staple over, and he's given it everything he got and flying. Get some wool out of the way, mate. Down on the other stand, Lucas Broughton, born in the Gisborne area. Pin 1 through. They're working hard. Tyrone says, oh, jolly, I've got to get this pinned up. These are, oh, be careful with that, mate. These are all the things that can catch you out. As I discussed earlier this morning, it's a bit like shearing a sheep. You take a shortcut on the first half, your last half, well, you've got a lot of work to do. Same sort of thing here in the pressing. There's a whole lot of dynamics to make sure that everything lines up. And when it doesn't line up here, as Tyrone's falling out, we've got to get that to come together. So we won't need to go to the gym tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This will be it. He'll be going to hit the fast twitch muscles here as he gives it everything he's got. She's rugby training. There we go. Now he's away. Here we go. He's getting some rhythm going. He's going to have another go later on in the doubles. The peers pressing. But at the moment, he'll have to lay it on the line. He'll have a cold shower and a banana. And he'll be all fired up for the peers. Wax the staples in. Look at the sweat coming off him, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the two different styles. The young man, look at the muscles on his muscles. Then over here, Lucas Broughton. He's a full-time wool handler. He is in the triathlon. Different sort of style, but he's starting to sweat on the forehead now. He too is onto the clips. Oh, he's got it together, ladies and gentlemen. Give the youngster a round of applause. He's managed to get that bale hooked up. Look at him respond, folks. He responds to that. He likes a bit of the old limelight. Got to get that door open now. He's got some wool in this baby. Not long now. The work area is pretty clean. Tyrone Oliver is getting ready to show his hand. Here we go, Masterton. He says, been there, done that, got the shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Right, back to press 1.
John McBride, are you there? Kerry. Oh, ask the judges up, please.
Right, and Mr. Broughton, last and finishing clips here. And he'll have it wrapped up too. It's been a sensational morning. It's 11 o'clock. We've got off to a real good early start.
Okay.
Large amount of competitors, but also a very, very high quality.
Okay, Gerald, I'll just come in. Heat 1 of the junior shearing, Joe Cummins, Luke Daish, Caleb Nelson, Sheridan Cooper, Harlem Chase, and Trent Robin. If you'd like to hop up, please. That'll be Heat 1 of the junior shearing. Heat 2, could they please be ready? Assemble to the left of the